Hi guys! Alright, so we are doing the kids craft today. I'm going to give everybody a minute or two to log on. Okay, got one. Awesome. Okay, got my touchpad so I can read your guys' comments so I don't miss anything. Alright, we're making this today. This is a cute little kids craft. Alright, so moms, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, babysitters. If you guys are at your wit's end and don't know what to do, I'm doing a crafting video each week for a kid. So you can join me. Today is the Kaleidoscope. Alright, they're pretty cool looking. It's hard to see on this video. I'll just do it up close. And we're going to make this today, okay? So what you will need, I will go ahead and start since I have 6 of you on here. You'll need a paper towel roll, okay, or toilet paper. Does not matter. One or the other. Doesn't matter. Or something like it, okay? I used a paper towel. What are they called? Oh my goodness. Paper towel tube thing. Totally not, I don't even know. And cut it in half. So if you guys have 2 kids, this is a good one to use, is the paper towel, okay? And you'll also need some see-through beads. I just had these laying around. I don't know where I got them, but they worked perfect for this project. So as you can see, they are see-through, just like glass almost, okay? So you'll just need those, and if you just have even maybe like glitter, I don't know if glitter will work, but like the sequins, that kind of stuff, anything that has like that translucent look should work for this, okay? So something like the beads. You will need, it just depends on how old your kids are. You can either give them a sheet of paper and let them color it with markers or crayons, or if you trust them with paint, you could do paint instead of that, and just paint the outside of this. It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. So you'll need paint. You'll need some aluminum foil. Alright, just a tiny bit. This piece is actually more than what I need, but this is what I had in my drawer. So a little piece of aluminum foil. Now, I tried this craft a couple different ways, and the best way, I kind of like put my own twist on it. It was just a little bit easier. Other people called for either plastic wrap, which you can use plastic wrap for this, or just like the plastic from packaging, anything that's clear and thicker, or the plastic wrap. I used cups. I used the bottom of the cups. Just because I figured when I did this with my first one, the one I made, this is my like little kid craft that I made the other day, it was actually kind of tricky. So I got on, I was like, oh, this is going to be nice and easy. No. Okay. It was a lot harder than what I thought. So I kind of am going to make this one a little bit easier. I looked around my house, see what I had, and I'm going to use the bottom part of the plastic cup because it's just simpler, and especially if a kid's doing this, if they're old enough to do it themselves, or if they're at that age where they don't want mom and dad helping, the plastic cups are probably the easiest, or I would use the plastic wrap. That's probably the second easiest, okay? The other way I did this one was just find pieces of plastic and cut out a round circle, all right, which was the hardest part because there was no really way to hold that on there. So I'll kind of go over all that. You guys will understand later on in the video. All right, and then you'll need, if you're painting, a paintbrush. I already have paint on it. Scissors, and mom, dad, whoever, grown up, hot glue gun, okay? Do not let the kids use these on their own, okay? I'm sure if you know, if you're an adult, they get really hot. So if you have tape, you can do clear tape too, that would work. So just regular clear tape, or you'll need probably the hot glue for the inside of it. So please help your kids with this. Do not let them use the hot glue gun, okay? All right, so I will start off with painting, I'm just going to paint mine real quick. Alright, so nothing real fancy. So if they have stampers, markers, anything like that, you can go ahead and let them use that. If you want to decorate it by using the sheet of paper with the crayons and pencils, or if they have a coloring book or anything like that that they can actually, you know, color a picture, and you guys can actually tape that paper around this. So if they have like one of those design books or anything, or if they just want to draw your picture and color it and put it on there, they can too. Okay, it's a little less sloppier than paint. All right, I'm just painting mine real quick. This paint should dry. I'm using acrylic. Any a kid-friendly paint should work. I wouldn't probably use chalk paint on this unless that's the only paint that you have, because chalk paint doesn't really absorb well with cardboard. You'll use a lot of it. All right. So after you painted or colored your picture, whatever you're doing, I'm moving pretty slow here. I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm not making too big of a mess, so I'm usually messier with my paint. All right. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. It shouldn't take long at all. It dried pretty quickly last time. All right, so I'm just going to set your little roll aside, okay? And if your kids are coloring or whatever, that's fine. You can even put that on after. Does not matter, okay? Oh, I have a hair somewhere and it's driving me nuts. Okay, so the next step, all right, you will need, like I said, this project turned out to be more for like an adult because there is a lot of like harder things to do unless you have like older kids. So, you know, it's kind of more of like they color and help type of project. Okay, so you'll get your cup or whatever you're using. Okay, this is just a little plastic cup, and I only need the bottom of this, okay? You'll need to cut 3 pieces of plastic if you're using a cup or plastic. If you're using saran wrap, you'll need 2 small pieces of saran. Oh my gosh, I can't say that today. The plastic wrap. You'll need 2 little pieces of that, and you'll also need 1 little piece of harder plastic, okay? So, I got my little cup. I've already cut this one. I did leave the little ledge on it, okay? Just because it's easier to do that. So this one I'm doing the same thing for. I'm just going to cut it up, and I'm just going to cut the circle. Okay. Put that aside, that's garbage. And I'm just going to cut this a little bit closer. You don't need that whole entire thing on there. Okay. And the whole way around, just kind of make it as even as you possibly can. Perfect. All right, so that looks pretty good. It's like a little bowl, all right? As you can see, it has a little side there. All right, so after you have your 3 plastic circles ready, 2 that look like little bowls, if you have the cup. If not, you can just do the flat plastic. It's just easier to use the bottom of the cup. All right, or your 3 round circles of your flat plastic, okay, or your plastic wrap if you're using plastic wrap. All right, so those are the 3 little things. My first one that I'm going to do, let me just dry this a little bit more. It's pretty dry. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, you need to use your flat piece of plastic, not the one that looks like a plate, not the bowl, okay? I'm going to use that, and you're going to tuck it in, all right? It's going to go in like this, standing up and down, okay? You're making like a wall inside there, and you're just going to push it in there, and this is the hardest part about this project. This is kind of why it's not too kid-friendly. You're just going to kind of make like a little wall in there, All right. Now this is the tricky part. At the end here, the beads have to have enough room to move, but you don't want it so loose that they're moving through the whole tube, okay? So if you have a pair of scissors or pencil or anything like that, just push that little piece of plastic to the end just a tiny bit, okay? Still making a wall. This is tricky. And I tried this craft. I was like, oh, this is going to be cute. Well, it's pretty tricky. And this is the trickiest part, is to get this little wall standing up in here. So, okay. Yep, let me push it down just a little bit more here. And I wouldn't use a full paper towel roll because then you can't really fit the scissors down in here. So that's like another thing why I cut this in half. It just worked better. You could fit the scissors in it and not struggle getting it in there as bad as I am. Okay. All right. So I got my little wall in there. Okay. So now I'm going to use my hot glue gun and I'm just going to go around the sides and seal it. Kind of, you know, oops, I knocked it over. Let me just try this again real quick. This is definitely a tricky kids craft. But it's neat afterwards. It is cool after you have it all done. I might have cut this a little bit too small too. That might have something to do with it. Okay. See, I'm even struggling with this. This is harder than some of my crafts, I think. Alright. Man, come on. It's frustrating. Alright, so after, you know, an hour later, after you actually have that in there, okay, I'm not going to move it. I'm just going to glue it. Okay, it's just my little wall there. And I'm just going to run my hot glue on the end. I'll show you guys here in a second. Right around the edges of that, just to seal it and hold it. Just very lightly, so you don't knock it down while you're gluing it. Then you'll just have a mess. And you could even use tape. Like I said, clear tape will work too, if you really want your kids just to try this on their own. Alright, looks good. Okay, so you can see where I put that glue just around all the edges there. Alright, just sealing that and holding it in there. Okay, so I'm going to set that like this, just to let it dry, make sure it adheres really, really well. And then you're going to need your beads, alright? And after this is dry, almost dry, I'm gonna let it set a little bit longer. Like I said, I just used the beads on the strings and they worked out really, really well. It actually turned out really cute. And it actually works. When I first saw this craft, I'm like, I don't know. And there was a couple different ways that people were doing them. But this is the way that was just the easiest. If it's a kid craft, it shouldn't be too hard. But I struggled with this one. Alright. So I think this should be cooler now. Okay. So I'm going to drop my beads. Oops. In there. Maybe. Some are going flying everywhere. Alright. And like I said, you don't want too many. I think I have too many in there. Because you want them to be able to move, okay? So you just want one layer of beads. You don't want them on top of each other either, because then that can cause even more problems. All right, so I got my little layer of beads. Now my little bowl that I cut out of my cup, the bottom of my cup, is going to go right over top of that. And it just snaps on like a lid, okay? That's why that worked like perfectly, is it kind of just went on like a lid. You don't even have to really glue it. I would still glue it though, okay? Just to be safe, you could even just use clear tape and right over the top, okay? I will glue mine. I'm just going to add a tiny, tiny bit here. I don't need a lot of it like I used for the first piece. And this, using these as a lid works better just because you don't have to worry about as much gluing and it's staying in place. It just works a lot easier. All right, so that's on there, okay? And you don't have the messy, ugly glue that you can see either. All right, so far, I like the lighting behind me. That's what you guys are seeing, okay? And you're able to move those beads in there. All right, okay, so now the next step, you'll need your aluminum foil. All right, oh, got hot glue everywhere. Okay, so aluminum foil, you'll just need to take a piece that's about the whole size. Okay, remember you have that little wall in there, so you won't need the whole entire size of the whole tube. Okay, so you just need a little bit. All right, and then you're just going to take that and kind of curl it like the shape of the tube. All right, make sure you have it big enough. And then get your scissors, and you're just going to cut it where you kind of think it'll cover the whole inside of the tube. Okay, and it's okay if it overlaps. And you can do this step first if you really wanted to. It doesn't matter. It might have been a little bit easier to do this one first, but I did it last. Okay, so now that you have that, all right, I'm going to slide that into there. You're just going to line the walls of the tube with the foil is what you're doing. So I cut it a little too long. So let me just go back and kind of cut it again. Take some off of there. All right. It's like a guessing game. All right, and line your walls of your little paper towel tube with that. Okay. And you have that. All right, I'm gonna actually, I skipped a step, hang on. I'm gonna go back, and I actually, instead of leaving this flat and nice, I crumbled mine. It kind of creates that, I forgot about that, that little kind of like dimensional look. So if you just want to crumble it, not too much, just enough that it kind of creates like a bumpy surface. Okay, there you go. So you have that now. All right, that looks better. I knew I was forgetting to do something. Okay, so you got that, you crumbled that, and I feel like there's a shinier side of the aluminum, so that's the side that you want to stick in. So when you look in, you see this shinier side. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll it again. Perfect. All right, there we go. And I'm just going to put it back in my tube here. This way. All right, and you can use your scissors to just flatten it out, or a pencil. Just make sure there's nothing sticking up that's going to block your view of all the little beads. Perfect. Awesome. And then what I did once I had that in there and aligned, I just added a tiny bit of hot glue and pressed it down on the top just to hold it so it didn't move too much inside of there and you didn't have to take it apart to redo it. All right. So I'm just adding little glue dots here just to hold that aluminum foil to the inside of there. All right, that looks good there. Okay. And then you get your other little bowl-shaped plastic that you cut off of your cup, if that's what you're using. If you're not using the cups, get your saran wrap and you just put it right over top of here, and you can use a rubber band or hair scrunchie or glue it or tape it right around. It does the same thing. You just need that little bit of plastic over that. Okay, and you can use it for this end too. You just need something like a wall, clear wall in there, and that's where the thicker plastic comes in handy. Okay, so like I said, if you're using saran wrap or plastic wrap, right over the top of this would be fine too. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna get my little piece here. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. It's not what I wanted to watch. What this thing's doing. This touchpad, like, I swear it messes with me on purpose. Okay, so, alright. So I'm going to get that extra little plastic and it's going to snap on there just like the other side, but I'm going to glue it just a little bit, okay? So I'm going to get my hot glue gun and just add a couple little dots here on the inside just so it doesn't fall off while they're playing with it. This is a cute like day project, and then you can just toss it. It works pretty well. All right, so there you go. There's your little toy. Looks pretty neat. Awesome, huh? All right, so that was it. It's very easy to make, other than that little wall in the center and the hot glue. So I feel like it's hard to say. The center wall, if you guys can figure out an easier way to do that, that's awesome. But I really couldn't think of anything when I was making it. And you know, the cup part worked the best to fit in there and kind of hold its shape. So that's what I thought. If you want to, maybe another way I could think about this, if you don't have any plastic and you want to just use all saran wrap, maybe what you could do is cut the end off here where the wall needs to go, put the saran wrap in there, glue this end back on, and then saran wrapped again. So that's up to you if it's easier, or you could just use clear tape, glue it back on, and clear tape again. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you guys have laying around, be creative. It'll work. Like I just said, I did mine out of a paper towel roll and 2 little cups, plastic cups. All right, so I'll put this up to there. Hopefully you guys can kind of see through there. It's hard to see on a video, of course. But that's it. That's your little kaleidoscope. It's pretty neat. It's cute. It works out good. It'll keep the kids busy for a little bit. And like I said, if you don't have any beads at home, you guys can use like the sequins, the real pretty like sequins, or glitter might work, and aluminum foil. So you just want those colors. They're really cute. And just remember, if you're using hot glue, do not let your kids use the hot glue. Please use the hot glue for them, okay? All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was pretty cute, right? Something maybe to do with your kids. They just might need a little bit of help with it, okay? All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, if you are viewing this later, just leave them in the comments. I will get back to you and reply. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gives you something to do with your kids today or tomorrow or later on in the week. All right, guys. We'll see you. Stay safe and healthy. Bye.